Good morning, welcome to the video. Big mowing day today. It's Monday, it's it's mowing week, usual mowing week, and it's proper hectic this week. Got a lot of things going on with the kids, with their schools and stuff like that. It's away for Thursday and Friday as usual, so for basically got to make it all fit. So this is why also I never do regular mowing on a Monday. Obviously, you don't lose the days to lawn care. Obviously, you don't lose the days to bank holidays, which is good. But also, when I have a really hectic week, what it means is I can move some of the mowing around and sort of just split it across 5 days rather than 4. So that tends to work out pretty well for me. So today, what I've got is the really wet lawn, which has gone fortnightly while it's too wet to be weekly. And then literally a stone's throw from that house is a lawn I've cut twice before in the last 10 years, and I'll explain more about that, but it is probably the largest lawn I've ever cut. And the last 2 times I've cut it with the Toro Time Master and not to the tractor mower, so I'm hoping it's going to be a lot quicker today. Anyways, I'm going to get this moved, get the trailer out, get it on, and then I'll see you at the job. Okay, so here we are. There was a video that I put out of me cutting this, but then copyright issues, I have took it down because of the music I used a long time ago. Actually November, I think it was, 2017. So the situation is they've got a gardener that comes in who I assume uses his own, let's just say, hater to cut the formal lawn. Then I think the clients have a ride on, and it seems to be whenever that breaks down, then what they do is they then call me in to cut the grass. So I did it in 2017 with the Toro Time Master, and then I did it again in COVID. It was 2020, I guess, again with the Time Master. As I say, today I've got the tractor, so it should take a lot less. But this is basically, you can see the house, you can see the formal flat area, and what it is it's everything else, not the bank. Don't do the bank. You can see where they've sort of hacked it down a bit. They've left areas probably too wet. And it's funny seeing this. I used to think this was massive, but I guess let's just move that before I mow it over. But yeah, I used to think this was massive back in the day, but now I'm seeing it for the 3rd time. It just seems a bit smaller. And then there's this area up here. You can see I've obviously come up through the tradesman's bit. So yeah, it's you can see where they've tried to try and cut it, but I'm just hacking it down. So the plan of attack, particularly because it's really long, and because my mower is side discharge, what I'll try and show you is on. So let's just say that's the lawn. Now, because I side discharge to the right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here, and I'm going to do 2 perimeter cuts, where what I'm doing is I'm chucking the stuff inwards, because I don't want to, well, I won't be able to get quite close to the bushes, and there's a few areas, particularly down by the main lawn, where I'd be blowing it off over onto there, so I don't want that. But the problem is I'm going to be blowing the grass onto the grass that I need to cut. So then eventually the grass is just going to get really thick, and if it's wet it'll bog down and things. So then once I've done that, I'm then going to go anti-clockwise. So each time I cut, the stuff I cut, I'm going to blow onto the line I'd previously cut. So it'll all look, and it should be even with cut grass and grass on top. Now if I was rear discharging, the grass would just fall behind me, so it will still look like that. The only difference is the grass cut from this section will be thrown onto that section onto that section. So you'll only ever cut grass and not be trying to cut grass plus the grass from the previous strip that's been thrown on top of it. So anyway, I need to get the mower off. The biggest issue is I've got a 50-inch deck, so it doesn't fit in the trailer and it doesn't fit between the wheel arches in the van. So I have to take the deck off. It only takes, I can do it now in under 10 minutes, so it's not a major problem. It's just, it is a faff that I don't want to, which I want to avoid. But The issue I've got at the minute is I've just got no room to store a bigger trailer, and I haven't really currently got room for a bigger van. So I've looked into some places. I found one place which is a storage place a bit like mine, where effectively I could rent a car parking space for the trailer, but even with the locks on and stuff like that, it's it's somewhere which isn't as secure as my place. And you know, the trailer's not that big in the grand scheme of things, so I think a load of blokes literally, even though it's got locks on and stuff, you could just probably just pick it up if there's enough of you. So yeah, I haven't quite got to the decision of what I will do. I mean, it sits in there lovely. If I had the other option of course is to get another mower, a smaller mower, but this one came around because it was broken, and I basically my payment was to fix it, and because I bought it off the client, I still need to use it to cut his lawn, but he was getting annoyed having to service it and sort it all out, and he didn't want to. He knew I was in the market, so he said, look, you fix it, you can have it. So that's how it came about. So you're never going to buy a mower, let alone a 50-inch deck mower, for what it actually cost me to fix it. But anyways, I'll get this all set up and I'll get going, and then I'll check back in. Okay, so it's just gone 12 now, so a little under 3 hours. I've got all the stuff which wasn't mega long. I've got cut. So this kind of like paddock, we've cut this down. Everything's been on its highest height. The deck was just getting filled up with really dry grass, so I've just taken the blower over it to clear it all out. What we've got is the really long stuff. And or not, you can see underneath that tree how long that is. That's the sort of length there. I have cut a section and the mower can cut it, so I'm just going to take it nice and slow. I've got plenty of time on my side at the moment. I've got sort of maybe another 2 hours that I'd sort of allotted for, just purely because I've got to go and do another job, more so. So yeah, so 2 hours to do. There's not much, it's just really long, like 2 foot in some places, so we'll see how we go. Probably used about half a tank of fuel in the tractor by the looks of it. So yeah, weather's out and it's great, which is brilliant, because trying to do this on a wet day would be hellish. Would have been awful. The only problem is there's so much grass that's been hacked down from, I don't know, the homeowner or the gardener or whatever, plus what I'm cutting is just, it's just got hay on top of it. Fortunately this paddock looks the best by far because it's a lot more sparse, but the big juicy stuff's just laying down, and where it's so thick and it's laying down and then obviously it's dying away, it's just that the whole place is covered with brown grass, so it's not ideal, but it's cut, and that's the first step, isn't it? One other thing when you're doing work like this and it's really dusty because it's so dry, is you need to check the engine and the air filters and stuff like that. So I'll just show you here, you know, the air filters in here, so I'll give that a bang off as well, but keep that closed for a second. Pull all this out, obviously get the blower on there as well, just to make sure that the air is moving around the engine and keeping it cool, because it can overheat. And you know, it's not a protractor, it's not meant for these jobs, but I'm just doing what I can with what I've got. As I say, I wasn't expecting it to be like this, but once you get a few more of these, you can then justify sort of working out the machinery you need for that. Okay, all done. So the problem is there's so much grass. It's not so bad over here, but there's so much grass and it's so thick and there's so much moisture in there that there's just big clumps and it's everywhere. I mean, I'd hate to think how long it would take if you were bagging it. So the problem, the client is now, and you know, I've just chatted with him and he was saying, you know, how would he go around clearing it all up? And yeah, now there's a few options, but they're all going to take time. But ultimately I said, you just keep mowing it. His mower's broken, that's how it's got to this stage. He sent his mowers off to a dealer in January. He booked it in December, took it in January, got it back got it back in May, but it wasn't sort of man enough to do the work. That was the problem. So that's why he was able to, you can see that he sort of cut some bits but not all of it, and some bits just haven't even been attempted. So so yeah, they're happy. It's one of those where it is what it is. I've said to him, now it's down, just keep doing it. Nice dry days and just really disperse it all around. It's either that or you're looking to blow it and collect it and rake it up, and God, it'd take days and days to do that. And I don't suspect they're going to want to pay someone to be spending that much time just raking grass up. So yeah, it will disappear, it will disperse over time, but it just needs a regular goings over on dry days, should I add. So so yeah, I've got to get the mower on to the trailer now, so I've got to whip the deck off. Takes a couple of minutes, not too bad, and then that's it. So it's about 2 o'clock now. So I started mowing at 9:20, and obviously some of those areas were really slow going. What I did notice in one part, I left the really long stuff till last to give the sun the most time to dry off any dew and take out as much moisture as what it could. And actually the mower was fine on the areas where the sun had got to. Those real thick areas, the other side of the big trees where the sun hadn't got to, it did struggle. So there was a massive difference between those two bits, but it was the right call to do it that way. And yeah, it was really slow going, and periodically I had to kind of keep getting off and just clearing the chute. But when I've done it with the Time Master and the grass has been shorter and in much better, you know, you only whip over it once. I think the first time it took me 6 hours. That was a November cut, and then I think I did it in April or May, but it was in much better control, and I think it took me 6 hours on that time. So now we're going on to the wet lawn, and we're going to give that a cut. I'm sure that's dried out nicely. So I haven't got the Time Master just because I can't bring all my mowers to a job. So we'll see what we can do with the but I'd imagine that grass might be too long to cut with the Time Master anyway. Might end up getting the bloody tractor off. Okay, morning. So it's Tuesday. Didn't film any at yesterday afternoon's lawn. So yeah, so Tuesday's fortnightly mowing. You've seen all these lawns. I'll just show you the first one, just because last time I was here, if you remember, really nice day, and I said, you know, this is an opportune moment to spray Total Weed Killer because it's not windy, it's not wet, and we can't guarantee that in 2 weeks' time we'll have good weather. Now rain is due. I think it's going to be pretty dry for most of the day, but rain is due. So had it been that wet, that rain comes in earlier, then actually that decision's, you know, justified and worked really well. You've seen all these lawns. As I say, I'll show you the weed killing one just to show you that it's died off, and then we've got a new lawn come in. So I'll show you that one. Very small lawn, but yeah. Anyways, I'll get the keys and open up. Okay, so dead weeds, dead weeds, dead weeds, dead weeds, dead weeds, dead weeds, green grass, no burn patches. Amazing, huh? Okay, so we're on a classic new build where the grass hadn't been cut for ages and ages and ages. Client's wife tried to cut it. I think she attempted to cut that bit there, blew up the lawnmower, and then they asked me to come to quote to cut it all down. I couldn't get to them in the time they needed it sort of initially cut, so they got another company to cut it down, and then but they preferred me, so they have asked me to come in and do the regular mowing. So here we are, a little very short sort of quick stop really. Yeah, and that's kind of it, nice and easy. It's really weird, this new build, because I don't think there's anyone around. It's like a ghost town. No one's moved in yet. But I think sometimes if it's funny because I've been watching this new build be built and thinking I should get in there, because they've all got horrible lawns that need sorting out. So yeah, I've got everything. So yeah, there we go. Right, we're off to the usual Tuesday fortnight now. Always shut the gate. If you can't do anything else, you can at least shut the gate. Okay, so I've got the ditch all striped up. It's so wet in there, and you can see the all the dead grass in the verge, which is great, works well. Okay, so just got to a lawn. So this is a regular lawn, maintenance, etc, etc. Now I've done nothing to this lawn this year because they've had building work and stuff going on, so all I've done is just cut the grass down. I did speak to the wife about doing the lawn maintenance. It needs more to be done properly than usual because of all the building repair. As I say, I haven't fed it or anything, but today it is, look at that is red thread. And it's had no feeds, it's had no nothing, so more often than not, red thread nowadays is a climactic issue where it's the damp, dewy, kind of overcast days, which is a great breeding ground for it, but also, and traditionally, it's a sign that the lawn needs a feed. This lawn definitely hasn't needed a feed, and I haven't really seen it anywhere else. Normally you start to see it at everybody's lawns, and that means it's a climactic thing, but this is in desperate need of a feed. So what I will do is just let the client know ultimately, and push them for a response to do something. But ultimately at the end of the day, it's their money, it's their garden, they can do what they want. I can only make recommendations. Okay, just a quick one. This is the turf / seeding job we did. As you can see, it is a jungle. Okay, another one. A bit of a backwards and forwards conversation with the client this morning. She wants it cut shorter. I was saying it will look rubbish. She wanted to know why. That's why. Because it's fortnightly, being cut fortnightly, but it's growing far too fast. It needs regular cutting. It needs to be cut weekly, maybe even twice a week. Because what happens is the grass grows too long, you cut it down too low, and you get all the yellowing because those bits of grass haven't seen any sunlight. So again, it is what it is. This is one of my favourite sayings. But I've suggested weekly cutting, and we shall see. I will also suggest a growth regulator like Primo Max, just to try and slow the growth down a little bit, just to get us through this period of high temperatures and lots of rain. So that might be an option, but I haven't priced it up yet, so I need to do that before I suggest it. Okay, one more. It's about 2 o'clock I think now. I've got one more little one, and then that's it. Then I've got to prep for tomorrow. Busy day, as always. Okay, so Tuesday afternoon, it's about 4 o'clock I think. Back home, it's begun to rain, so I can't really do anything with the prep of the back lawn. While I've got the tractor here, what I have done is taken the blades off. I'm giving them a sharpen while they're here, so here's one I haven't done. But the first thing you want to do when you sharpen the blade is obviously sharpen it, but then you need to weigh it to make sure that it's level. So what you do need to do is clean it up and get all the grass off, all the dirt off. Need to do a bit more in there actually, because obviously if you've got a load of in-ground weight dirt on one side more so than the other, you're never going to get it balanced when you come to balancing the blade. So first thing you do is clean it up. You can use a pressure washer, but I've not got it set up and it's in the back, so I can't bother to get it out, so I just use like a wire brush on a drill. It gets a bit messy, but it does the same job. Morning, so it's Wednesday and it has been torrential. Fortunately, and you can't time these things, but actually we had our son's first assembly. So I was always going to start work later, but actually with the rain it's worked out perfect. Busy day today because I'm going to try and get one of the jobs I did on Monday, which was the wet lawn. Then I've got the two that I would do, and then I'm going to then do one of Thursday's lawns. I'll try and get the whole thing done, but if at a minimum I will get the strimming done, just to take pressure off tomorrow, because I'm doing nursery drop-offs and pickups, and we've got some kind of sports day type thing going on as well. So yeah, working double time to be there for my children. So anyway, for the moment, get the tractor back, and we're going to attempt now to use the tractor on that really big lawn where I've not been able to get it in, so hopefully we'll be able to do that. Obviously, if you know trailers, particularly single wheel axles, they are a bit tippy, so what I tend to do is I've got a jack, just a spare car jack that I carry around with me, because obviously if I did get, I can't say the P word, but if I did get one, the car jack for the van is under my seat, so it's a bit of a faff to get it all out, so I just carry a spare one. But what it does also mean is I will use some ramps just to help get off, but it just means it's not going to flip when I reverse this back off. So basically I've got to reverse this off, pull the trailer out, hook the trailer up, and then put it back on. So then I can get rid of the tractor and leave it where I normally leave it, and then yeah, gain some more space back, which will be nice. So it's rained on and off all day. Sometimes it's been really hard, sometimes not, but I've managed to get the two jobs done which I wanted to do, and now I'm on to still Wednesday, but I'm on to Thursday's job to get it off the list. Remember, kind of as the video went out last week, I realised that I was explaining how I'd cut the hedge back at this one property, and then I never actually showed you what it looked like, in case you hadn't seen it. This is it, it's come back. If you watch that video, I can't remember which one it was one of the first ones of this sort of series. You can see how much of a butchering I gave it, and yeah, it's bounced back straight away. Okay, 6:15, wet, horrible, done. What that means tomorrow is I've only got one job which needs to be done. If the weather's good, I've got options to sort of stay and do some extra stuff there until basically I need to get home. But yeah, pretty gross, huh? But oh crikey, but done. Hopefully this will pass and tomorrow will be drier. Okay, it's Friday. I've just striped this lawn up, first lawn of the day. Didn't film much yesterday, didn't film anything in fact. Just didn't have time running around like there's no tomorrow. So we've got the back lawn to do on this one, and then we shall move on down the road. Striped up nice. Can't really see because of the sun, but it's looking okay. So I verticut this one, was it 2 weeks ago now? I can't remember, but you can see that it's really popped back. One of the questions I got in last week's video was a little bit sort of complicated to read, but once I kind of got to the bottom of it, I think it's a scheduling question. So what I will do a bit later on is explain how I schedule work, because I think the crux of it is particularly in this industry, during your busy times you're really busy, during your quiet times you can be quite quiet. So how do you don't make sure you don't get too busy, but equally don't get too quiet, I think was basically it. So I'll tell you how I do it, which seems to work for me. Possibly won't work for you, but it's an insight anyway, but I'll do that later on. So I'll just show you the next two lawns before then. So this is second lawn of the day. This is existing lawn, new client, so this hasn't had any treatments. Interestingly, when I first took over this property, this area here was the car park for them building the house. You could see it on Google Earth. So this soil was compacted, and as soon as we got into summer, this bit, you could see a perfect line go all the way around, where it would just dry up straight away. Years and years of aeration have kind of relieved that compaction, so now what it does do is it stays even, which is quite good, but it is awful soil. So yeah, so I'm hoping that maybe from the next visit onwards we're actually going to start doing some treatments, so we can get the green grass green, deal with the weeds, etc., and then probably get a verticut on there too. At this time of the year we don't really want to be doing anything too drastic, so yeah, that's the plan. But the stripes are straight, so that's something, I suppose. And this is the other bit of the lawn. There we go. Okay, so last house, and this is front lawn, got a side lawn. So yeah, this was, when was this done? This was, I think this was done 2 weeks ago as well with the verticutter. So coming back really nicely. Onto the back now, that'll be cut with the Cub Cadet. So it is 4 o'clock, started at 8:45 I think this morning. 4 houses today, 3 of them in a row, although the 4th house is probably the smallest bit of lawn I have. Currently it is literally just the verge here, which I do maybe once a month, but eventually I'll cut this one day, when the house is ready to be lived in. I'll race home now, sort children out, and then I will answer the question of schedule. You're expecting scheduling bit now. I've just recorded it and it's like over 10 minutes long, so I'm going to put that on a separate one. So this is the end of the video, and I hope you enjoyed this week, and yeah, I will see you next week. Bank holiday weekend, of course, so I hope you enjoy that. Have a good one.